and gentlemen. Welcome to another live edition of Bird Gang Therapy with Eddie Law. If you guys know me, I run the Cardinals Daily for FanArc. I've been trying to get these live shows going and everything. There's not a lot to talk about in the off season, frankly, except for today. Something popped up. We're gonna talk about it here in a minute. But if you guys don't know, if you could find us over at Cardinals Daily on YouTube. It's a great daily Cardinals show, Monday through Friday. I don't do weekends. Weekends, we don't need to, keep talking Cardinal football on the weekends until the season starts. Of course, then it's every freaking day. But either way, thanks for hanging out. Today, obviously, what broke the news today? Jacoby getting his contract, right? So if you guys don't know, Jacoby Brissett now has his contract that he so wanted, right? He wanted that he wanted a raise, right? Which fair enough. $15.5 million is what he ended up getting. 1 year, 15.5 reworked deal. So it's not adding a year or anything. It's just you're just getting paid more. So and you could say, it's hard to argue he doesn't deserve it after what he went through last year. At least getting sacked 43 times, coming in a shit show of a situation with the Cardinals. Again, I don't have to harp on it, but you guys know how it went down, right? Kyler Murray comes in, wins the first 2 games, gets hurt, never makes it back. And the story that has been told to me is that Kyler, they wanted to, Kyler was supposed to start that Colts game before the Cowboy game, but he just wasn't there physically just yet, so he sat out that one. Was supposed to come in for the Cowboy game, and good old Drew Petzing somehow convinced Monty that Jacoby gave him the best shot, which clearly didn't work out. We went 1-11. But at that point, Monty benching Kyler, even though JG didn't want to, ended up being the nail in the coffin for that situation, for that relationship. So at that point on, Kyler didn't give a shit. At that point, he didn't. Very clear, Kyler and Monty didn't get along. They didn't like each other very much, or at least Monty didn't like Kyler, and that was that. Because when JG got fired, Kyler actually made a post about it. He said something about it. And when they hired Michael Floor, he didn't say nothing. He stayed quiet. To this day, he hasn't said anything about Michael Floor. So that tells you pretty much everything you need to know, people. If you read between the lines, you can really see the real story. And really, the real story is not going to be told for a long time. Basically, off the fact that the Cardinals don't want that out. Like, why would you want that out there? If you're the Cardinals, why would you want that story out there? You don't want it out there. So it is what it is. But either way, Jacoby Brissett is QB1. We'll be taking the first team reps from Gardner here for the rest of camp for sure, and for the rest of the season, as long as he's healthy, and as long as they don't come in with Carson Beck. But that is a question, isn't it? Carson Beck. At what point are you starting him? Because you got to start him. You got to see what he has before we get to next year's draft, where we're pretty much damn near guaranteed to have a top 5 pick and a shot at a handful of pretty good quarterbacks, including Dante Moore, Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, Jay Saynes, yeah. Sayings for the kid from Ohio State. A lot of guys, or the Sam Levitt too from LSU, former Arizona State kid. So we need to know what he has. So is this like this feels like, to me, this contract's more like a, hey man, thanks for what you did last year, holding it down, right? And then coming into this year going like, all right, now we need you to mentor Carson Beck, make sure he's set, ready to go, because at some point Jacoby knows this is his last year as a Cardinal. I think everybody knows that. This has to be his last year as a Cardinal. I would prefer that it's not, only because I would want a veteran presence. Let's say Carson Beck isn't the guy that everyone hopes he is, which is like a starter, right? Because it'd be great. If Carson Beck shows us that he can play, that he can be the franchise guy, awesome, right? Then we can use that top 5 pick on something else next year. It'd be great. But if that's not the case, you're going to need a veteran presence, because I do not want to start a rookie next year. I know a lot of people saying, like, you draft a rookie in the first round, you got to start him. I'm not of that mindset whatsoever. I like the Packers. The Packers, their process, right? Where you bring in somebody and you sit them behind the starter for as long as possible. Aaron sat behind Brett. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron. And then Aaron took off. Jordan Love came in and was a competent quarterback from the get-go. You know what I mean? So it's hard to argue that process doesn't work, in my opinion. So I would love to, draft like a Dante Moore and then sit him behind Jacoby or, whoever for at least half a season. Then bring him in, start him, see what he's got as a kid, and go on from there. But this feels like, and a lot of people don't understand Not that I don't understand. Everyone has a different opinion on this whole Jacoby Brissett, contract thing. I think it's a win-win. Jacoby got paid, frankly, what he deserves because our team's too stupid to shut up and say, hey, we're gonna have a competition throughout camp. Instead, they named him a starter before he even got the mini camp, and Jacoby's like, pay me, and you can't blame him for that. Imagine if you got some kind of if you got a promotion at work, and they said we're gonna pay you the same. Would you happy about that? I'm talking about promotion in terms of like more responsibility, like more on your head, like more opportunities to get fired, I guess, or to lose out on opportunities. I think it's very difficult to say that person wouldn't deserve a raise. You guys get what I'm saying? So that's where I come from with it. That's kind of where we're at here, and I was trying to find. Let's see if I can find anything here. Trying to find if anybody has said anything, any Cardinal has said anything. I'm sure, Buda Baker's going to be, everyone's going to be watching his Twitter like a hawk. I'm trying to see if I find it on here on my phone before I try to show it to you guys. Let me see, Buda Baker. He said nothing, but he did say something about what do you call it? He did say something about Ryan Clark, which I'll be talking about here in a minute, because that's a hot topic that I didn't understand, and I still don't fully understand it. But because I don't watch ESPN, I haven't watched ESPN in a handful of years. The only time I ever watched ESPN was when the UFC was still broadcasting with ESPN Plus. So that's the only time I ever tuned into ESPN. For the NFL draft, I watched something else. There's actually a couple fellas, and I wish I knew their names because they are really good. But there's one guy in particular. But they do they call their own games. They call games, right? So you can have the game on TV and have them on your YouTube, and if you can sync it, if you're like a Collinsworth fan, like myself, I can't stand Collinsworth. You can have somebody else talking. So I think I watched them. I didn't watch the actual draft. I just watched somebody covering it, and because I just don't like ESPN. I used to be. What's funny? My goal used to be to work at ESPN. I wanted to work at ESPN so bad. The leader in sports and all that stuff. And the last 15 years, they've just gone from, legitimate sports reporting to bullshit. Like straight up floating heads on kind of like mine right now. But floating heads, talking heads is yapping bull crap, right? I mean, Kendrick Perkins admitted, if you guys don't know, Kendrick Perkins, NBA champion with the Celtics, former NBA player. He literally just says whatever they tell him to say. So whatever craziness they need him to say, he just says this shit, right? We all know about the Stephen A. Smith of Screaming A, right? Like he just, it's not journalism anymore. It really isn't. When's the last time you saw an E60 piece? E60 was one of the best segments they had because it was actual journalism. You go out, you find the story, you shoot it correctly, you develop it. It's great to see like a body of work come together in terms of like a documentary like E60 used to do, right? Now it's just hiring, part-timers and posting news from other outlets and all, like through the Newswire kind of stuff and all that. And it's garbage because they keep it's garbage. I don't know. ESPN has really gone down and I wish I could say it was a better alternative, but there isn't. Fox Sports is even worse. You know what I mean? Fox Sports built, like they tried from the get-go to be what ESPN is now. So yeah, I don't watch any sports network TV anymore at all. I get all my news online or from the insiders on Twitter or whatever, but I don't watch ESPN anymore. And it sucks because they have like the Super Bowl this year, so I'm gonna have to watch ESPN. But it's not okay. It's not like a hard line, like for me anyway. It's not a hard line like ESPN. I'm never gonna watch them. This is just me going like you don't have anything for me at all, so I don't watch you. So that's kind of what it is. So either way, that was a long rant because I was going into my next segment here just real quick. Only going to go about another 15 minutes here. I didn't forget. I just didn't tell anybody I was doing this. I just kind of had time tonight. So I'm going to start making sure I do tell everyone that I'm going live. Which, explain what I was here, but I don't mind it. But yeah, the other topic I wanted to touch on was Ryan Clark's firing. That was a strange one, right? Because I like Ryan Clark, but I only know him off of obviously being a Pittsburgh Steeler. and a hard-hitting safety, and also with Washington, and I think there's only 2 teams he played on. Maybe he played on somebody else. I can't remember, but either way, I know from that, and I watched The Pivot. Like, I watch every episode of The Pivot for the most part. Like, I haven't missed too many of those. It's a great podcast. Him, Shannon Crowder, Fred Taylor, but they have like great episodes with guys like Michael Beasley. They just had on they had Dana White on there. They have a lot of guys on there. So great shows. The Pivot. It's a great podcast. I highly recommend it to anybody. So that's what I know Ryan Clark from. So when ESPN fired him, I was like, well, damn, that sucks. Now, we've seen ESPN lay people off like crazy. They just bought the NFL Network. They just bought, now they're running MLB TV through ESPN now. So you can imagine they're dishing out cash, right? So, of course, these layoffs aren't a surprise whatsoever. But the way they did RC was wild to me. Because the man he did a segment on TV, went on break, got fired, and then never came back, and no one said anything. They almost like just went on with the show like it was nothing. So then I go online, and everyone's celebrating it. Like, people are happy he got fired. I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? What is going on here? Why is everyone so damn happy that Ryan Clark got fired? It's odd to me when people celebrate someone's demise. Now, again, that's just I don't even want to say it's human nature. I feel like it really only happens in this country. But I mean, human nature, people just like to see people get torn down because for a myriad of reasons, right? Some people just don't like somebody. Some people hate their own lives, so they cheer when someone else's life sucks and stuff like that, right? So anyway, so I went online and I asked, I'm like, why does everyone hate Ryan Clark? And I didn't realize he a lot of people accuse him or say he's a race baiter. He said something, he like says something about RG3's wife, Robert Griffin III's wife and all that. And I'm like, damn. So I looked into it, what he said and all that. And a lot of what I saw him do in terms of the race baiting stuff. Now I'm assuming I didn't see some of the crazier stuff, because what I felt was pretty mild in terms of, standing up for his community, right? Like, a guy like that, very opinionated, very proud, right? And when he saw something that was going on against his community or in his community that he felt like speaking about, he did. Now, is ESPN a network you do that on? Not really, right? You do that on your own podcast. That's a great thing for The Pivot. It's a great thing for your own podcast and all that. But to do it on ESPN, on network, where there's a lot of people, I mean, ESPN, they lay off the talent, but they never lay off the middlemen assholes that don't do shit. There's a lot of people. For example, you guys ever seen that? I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie with it's like Ford vs Ferrari. I forget the name of it. With Matt Damon and all those other guys, right? Matt Damon tells the Ford owner, right? He goes, hey, that red book you have in your hand, I saw that go through about 15 people's hands. They looked through it before it got to you, right? And so it's one of those things where it's like, shit, I lost my train of thought on that because I was just thinking about that movie. Either way, I hope you guys get what I'm saying. So anyway, let me continue on. So the RG3 stuff, apparently, I didn't realize that Ryan Clark said he said something about to the effect of RG3 shouldn't be criticizing black women because he's married to a white woman and something like that. And I mean, the delivery was really bad. But I also don't understand, me personally, not being black, obviously, right? I don't understand what his point was. I can only assume that Ryan or RG3 was saying something negative about whoever, probably someone like Angel Reese or something, and because she's just she's just a magnet for stuff like that. And I'm assuming it's that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all, honestly. But I'm assuming RG3 may have been saying something negative about someone black, and Ryan Clark was like, well, you don't know what the hell you're talking about because you're married to a white woman. Could have said it a lot better there, 100%. Right? I think the one thing I've seen a lot about Ryan Clark in terms of all the clips I've seen of people saying, well, this is why I don't like him, this is why I hate him, this is why I'm glad he got fired. A lot of that stuff, you could tell he was trying to say something, but he just didn't deliver it correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, now I don't know what he was trying to say with RG3, and that was just wild. Like, I would never talk about someone's wife at all. Like, you keep it to the person, right? If RG3 said something messed up, go at him. Don't talk about his wife. Leave her alone. That's kind of messed up, right? And then what was the other thing? I know I wrote down a couple notes of what people said he said. People say he's racist. Like, I'm not 100% sure, but like exactly what the problem was, but it's odd to me. It really is odd to me. It doesn't make sense. How about that? It doesn't make sense to me. And so, like, that's why I asked people. I said, hey, what exactly did he do to piss you off? So again, I asked the question again. Let me know in the comments or on Twitter at Elaw32 or whatever, why you hate RG3 or Ryan Clark so much. I don't. I like the Pivot's one of my favorite shows, and I clearly missed all this stuff. Whatever happened on ESPN, and it's funny because running Cage Side Press, along with my team, my editor and all, and Jay and all that, running Cage Side Press and everything. I'm very much on social media, but it's also the reason I'm not on social media as much. If you go on my Twitter, I don't tweet that much at all. I used to tweet hundreds of times a day back in the day. Now it's like once every 2-3 days. It's just a shithole. First of all, there's barely any people on there anymore. If you notice, 99% of the users on Twitter, for example, or on Twitter, are bots. Instagram is 100% on its way to that, and so is Facebook, right? If not already there. It's all bots and AI bullshit. Like, you're not talking when you guys to argue with someone online. It's not 99% of the time. It's not a real person. It's not. When you tweet something and someone tweets a bunch of crap back at you, and with like a faceless like account with a crappy bio and all that, usually says Christian and this and that and American and whatever. Literally, they all say the same shit. And doing the least Christian shit I ever seen in my life, or saying the least Christian stuff I ever seen. But it's all horse crap. So I don't get on it very much. So that's why I missed any of the beef that was going on and everything, right? I stay kind of like in the combat sports world as far as social media goes, and that's it. So I missed anything that Ryan Clark might have said directly to RG3. But end of the day, I did watch Ryan Clark's thing on the Pivot talking about his firing and all that. I didn't watch anything with who's that one? I know him. The guy talks like he is AI. Emmanuel Acho. I know there's the Acho brothers. One's really cool. I think Emmanuel is the one that I'm just like, eh. Yeah, he talks like he's AI. Like he just like this. It's. I wish I could explain what bothers me about the way he talks. It is the way he talks. I don't know him personally enough to dislike him. I really don't. His brother's cool though. But either way, like I said, I don't know him personally, dislike him personally. I just don't like his delivery, and I don't like the way he does the job. So I don't watch him. It's okay. It's not a big deal. But he was apparently he's been speaking out about it and all that. Cam Newton also got let go or fired or whatever, or he was let go. Ryan Clark was clearly fired. You could tell he was fired. Like, if you were let go or you were part of layoffs, you get told before you show up to work, because they don't want you showing up to work saying some wild stuff. Like, Ryan Clark was fired in the middle of his segment. It's wild to me. So either way, I don't know. Really curious to see how this pans out. Clark's gonna be fine, by the way. Like, everyone that hates that's shitting on him, saying like, I'm so glad you got fired, you're this, you're that, whatever. Guys, he's gonna be fine. Like, it makes me laugh when people shit on anybody in this kind of space, thinking that they're not fine. He ain't gonna go hungry at all. In fact, he's gonna get picked up by somebody for sure. You know why? He just won an Emmy. He's on a top 10 podcast. He just worked for ESPN for like 12 years. Like, the resume is solid. It's a good resume. You know what I mean? That's it. It's just clearly someone didn't like him at ESPN and fired him. And that's what it was. And because look, if there's one thing ESPN doesn't do is listen to its viewers. I feel like you and I can agree on that, right? Like, a lot of they don't listen to the viewers. A lot of viewers do not care for Stephen A. Smith, but they hate watch it, right? So it works out. A lot of people, I remember back in the day, they liked Max Kellerman. I liked Max Kellerman on the First Take with Stephen A. I liked him because he challenged Stephen A. No one ever challenges Stephen A. Ever. I like that Max. There was one where I was like, yo, where Max said he was blacker than Stephen A. I was like, holy shit. that was wild. And but I like that because it's you're challenging someone that feels like they're untouchable. Because if there's anything Stephen A. thinks he is, it's untouchable. He can bullshit his way going, I don't think I'm untouchable. No, you're 100% believe that. That's why you're where you're at. But you also play the game well, and I can't knock him for that. Like, Stephen A. plays the media game very, very well. So that's that. But in terms of like Ryan Clark getting fired, like, again, I don't understand a lot of why people hate him. I've just read the things that people hate him about. But he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be just fine. It makes me laugh when when LeBron lost he went to the finals for the first time, no, second time with Miami. When he went the first time with Miami, there we go. Because maybe you guys remember he dragged a trash ass Cavs team to the finals, right? Once. In 03, no, not 03. 03 is when he got drafted. Maybe like a handful of years later. Either way, goes to Miami, loses to Dallas, and he was really upset because he knew that the haters. I hate that term, the haters. The haters had we're celebrating it, and he goes, "Well, look, man, I'm gonna be fine. You still have to go to work tomorrow. You still have to deal with your problems tomorrow. I'm gonna continue to win and be myself." Ryan Clark basically doing the same thing. And I'm not saying this to be like, shut the hell up or whatever. Your opinion's bullshit because he's got money and you don't. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're wasting your time, hating on somebody for any reason, is that helping you in any way? I don't know. So either way, that was the other thing I want to talk about, and mostly because I wanted to ask what people think about Ryan Clark and why everyone hates him for the most part. Now, frankly, I think a Fox Sports will call him for sure. Whoever's trying to build a sports wing to their network, for example, will call him for sure. Frankly, if I'm him, I keep doing the pivot, and I just go full in on that, and then I start my own you guys ever seen like Gil's Arena, stuff like that, and Club 520 with Jeff Teague. Now, Gil's Arena talks basketball, but they talk a lot of things. Jeff Teague's show talks a lot of basketball. Just do one of those. I would get Ryan Clark. If I'm Ryan Clark, I get Shannon Crowder and Fred Taylor and somebody else, and I do like one of those, right? And go all in. Carmelo Anthony's a great podcast. It's like 7 p.m. in Brooklyn or something like that. But either way, it's a great way to go. At this day and age, like the traditional media it definitely is in trouble. A lot of online, content creators are really doing a really good job, of reporting and everything. Okay, is they reporting their own work? Not really. It's usually they watch it on something or somebody else, and they source it through them, and they present it, right? There's a lot of YouTubers that do it really, really well. So you don't really need to be on network TV at all. That's like I haven't watched CNN in 10 years. I haven't watched Fox Sports even longer than that, or Fox News longer than that. Because mind you, those are all controlled by like 6 entities, right? Those big news networks. They're all full of shit. MSNBC full of shit. CNN full of shit. Fox Sports or Fox News incredibly full of shit. Anybody that leans either way in terms or in any direction in terms of political affiliation, and then tries to call themselves a news network is full of shit. News has always been you're supposed to be down the middle. Literally, journalism school, day one, you're told you are right here down the middle. You tell every side of the story. You don't stick to one side. You don't stick to the other. You certainly don't platform ass clowns that get on, that sit on a couch and shit on somebody else because they're on Team Blue or Team Red or whatever the hell. All right, you don't do any of that stuff. So I thought about starting a political show. I really did, but politics gives me heartburn because politics is everything that's wrong with, in my opinion, of America. Okay, I think the best part about America are the people. I think the worst part about America are the politicians. They're the shittiest human beings on the planet. No, there's nobody good in politics. None. Literally 0 people. I'll give you an example. The guy that's the chief right now, is accused of so much stuff, and has been found liable of stuff, and then is on a certain list that hasn't been released, even though he himself promised gonna be released, and it wasn't. It was just bullshit. And then you got there's a guy here locally who everyone thought was great, and it turns out he's had he's an adulterer, right? While at the same time kind of going I'm a family man. Are you though? You know what I mean? Then you got the Pelosi stuff. Then you got the Mitch McConnell stuff. Lindsey Graham, who just passed away, but he's got his shit. All kinds of stuff. I think politicians are the worst thing about this country. The best thing are fellow Americans. Seriously, shit. My neighbors, most of my neighbors are white, and I go outside and Yeah, are some of them kind of dicks? Sure, but it's not because they're white. It's just because they're dicks. I don't know, right? But I have a couple really cool neighbors who we're always shooting the shit outside. Like, hey, how's it going? And we just talk about things, whatever, sports, and all right, I'm gonna have a good one, and always wave to each other. People in this country are good people overall. I think a lot of people that take politics way too serious get crazy, right? Like I was at oh man, when Black Lives Matter started up, I went to the grocery. It was like literally like maybe a month after it started. I went to the grocery store and this old white dude was wearing a White Lives Matter shirt, right? Big baggy ass one. He was not a big dude, and he had two holstered Glocks, literally two holstered Glocks. And he's just walking around the grocery store, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, I don't care. Like, I'm a firearm guy too. I carry all the time. Not out to like show everybody like, hey, look at me, I got fucking guns and shit. But like, concealed. But and honestly, most people in Arizona do. So watch your ass. But I saw that and I was like, that is fucking strange. All right, I didn't care. Right, and some lady says something to him. Oh, he was wearing a MAGA hat on top of that, and then a black one, the black ones, and she, this lady, said something to him, and he lost his shit. He was like, he said some wild stuff that I'm not gonna repeat because I was just like, yo, like you should get your ass up just for that. That's an awful thing to say to another human, but whatever, But people like let politics like rot their brains so hard you forget that me and you are supposed to be on the same side. We're supposed to be me and you against the government. The reason the Second Amendment is there is so the government goes, I better not freak out. Like for example, I'm going on tangents, but I'm gonna go this last one for about a couple minutes, and I gotta go. But like for example, why the hell are we monitored? Why is the government need information on you and me in a secret file somewhere? Should be the other way around. We should have all the information on them. They should know nothing about us as private citizens at all. But slowly but surely, scum took over the government, right? And have turned it into a police state, for lack of a better term. We're surveilled so much. The flock camera thing, Jesus, that's a nightmare. The being tracked on every device we have. I'm being watched right now, I guarantee it. Right? Anyway, if you have one of these in your pocket, you're being tracked all the time. You know what I mean? Like I've seen people going to, I don't buy anything from China. Motherfucker. Fuck you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, anyway. So there's a lot of things, but I need to start I'm gonna start doing shows on this channel that aren't just Cardinal stuff, just so I can get stuff out, because it's probably a good way to therapize myself, I guess. Therapize, is that a word? But either way. All right. So real quick, last check of the headlines of the Cardinals before I call it a night. By the way, if you watch this, I really appreciate you, because I didn't tell nobody. So I really do appreciate you tuning in if you did. Let me see some Cardinals. There's a lot of good Cardinals blogs. The Phoenix guys are, I'm not going to call them trash, but you put your stuff behind a paywall. Like, I'm not paying whatever your fee is for Arizona sports content at all. Like, no. Dude, it's enough. We know we suck. Relax, okay? But I'm sure they're decent people, right? Let's see. Revenge of the Birds is okay. They put nothing into their articles, really. It's like 100 words. And their articles they're better off being tweets. You know what I mean? But once in a while they give you a good one. And then Raising Arizona is let me make sure it's the right one here. Pretty sure it's the one that is absolute dog shit. Yeah, Raising Arizona is dog shit. The fan-sided one, it is dog shit, but it's dog shit because they didn't post shit for like a month. And then the last like week or so, they've been posting like 3-4 times a day, old ass stories. Like they're trying to play catch up. So there's that. Arizona sports is all right. They do have this kid named Tyler Drake, who does a really good job covering the Cardinals, like really good job. And let's see what else there is. Bleacher Report is trash. Just from the start. Bleacher Report, complete garbage. That's kind of there was one more and I can't find it. That's like a really good one. I can't remember the name for the life of me. Anyway, either way, there you go. There's like a lot of like Cardinals podcasters that are really good. There's one dude that used to go live all the time. Now he goes live every like couple of weeks or whatever. I think he's probably taking a break, getting ready for the for the season. Seems like a cool guy. Forgot the name of his channel. It's like, the AZ Sports Fan or AZ something like that. Something like that. But that dude's cool. This other kid with the funny mustache does not fit your face at all, bro. If you're watching, it's not fit your face. But I think he moved to Texas or something like that. But he did a pretty good job. Really excited kind of guy. And but then there's others that just like you just kind of, and it's not because of, like, if you throw constant negative shit at me, like, you're gross to me. Like, I can't talk to you. Like, I can't imagine being friends with you. You're just like a negative Nancy about everything. Now, I'm not saying don't report the truth about this team being trash. What I am saying is if you're gonna talk about the problem over and over and over again, offer a goddamn solution, dude. So it's stuff like that. But either way, there's not a lot of us out here creating Cardinals content, but there's some, and a lot of us do a really good. I'm not gonna put myself in that group at all because I do not judge myself on that. But a lot of guys out here do a really good job. So it's pretty cool. But anyway, all right, guys, that's gonna do it for tonight's episode of Bird Gang Therapy. I appreciate anyone that tuned in. You guys are great. I'm gonna revamp this whole look on here, like, as you can see, my hands going through the freaking what do you call it? The overlap or over whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. And see if I can make this better. See if this works. Okay, that's better. Anyway, and I got to change in. Those are not any handles whatsoever. The At the Eddie Law shows nothing on anything but YouTube. So sorry, guys. But I'm gonna change this all up. Get a new intro and everything. And then come season stuff, I know I'm gonna do stuff for preseason stuff, like after the games. If they're away, I'm gonna do my best to do some kind of game companion. If they're at home, obviously I'm gonna be there, and I won't be able to live stream anything. But I will do a short show afterwards, just a post game. It'll be long after the game because it takes 45 minutes to get home from the game from the stadium. But I do have season tickets, so I'll be at every home game. And then I'll be able to film stuff in the place. I got new seats too, club seats, which has a completely different feel to it apparently. So I'm excited about that. And it's funny because people are like, "Why do you go to car?" My shit just, oh no, that's not working. Yeah, it is working. What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, what was I gonna say? Some people were saying like, "Oh, I can't believe you still have Cardinal season tickets." Like, bro, I've only had them for like 6 years. Not that long. I've seen people that were Cardinals season ticket holders for like 15 years. It is crazy. I'm going to do it for at least another, I'm going to give another, I know it's a lot of money and a lot of time, but I'm giving them another 5 years to get their shit together. And then after that, I'll be like, I just don't need to go to games anymore. I mean, but I'll be 45. Do I really still want to, do I still have the get up and go to get up every day and then get all my grocery shopping done early so I can get to the game and everything early and all that? Like, I don't know. But my kid loves to go to the games. My family likes to go to the games. So I have season tickets there. So we go, and it's a family thing for us. So that's what we enjoy it. But Michael Bidwell, you better do something better than freaking, improve Wi-Fi. By the way, the Wi-Fi is still shit. Anyway, but you better do something better than that, bro. That's not gonna get you any grace from the fans. You know what we'll do it, Mike? Hiring a team president. That'll do it. Just letting you know, bro. Anyway. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Catch you guys on tomorrow morning when I get up early as shit to film the show. We'll be talking about Jacoby. We're talking about McBride. We'll be talking about a couple news, NFL news topics and everything. But make sure you tune in. Appreciate the hell out of you guys. Catch you guys on the next one. And go Cardinals.